Welcome everybody to a new Juju live session, a live Q&A about one of my favorite subjects, how to create a great Egyptian dance performance. This is the theme where we are going to focus today. I have collected a few questions that I've received from dancers, especially from dancers who are already performing, but also from dancers who wish to perform. And I am going to answer them to the best of my ability, drawing from my experience as a performer of so many years performing in Egypt, around the world, with my orchestra, with different orchestras, with recorded music, in big theaters, in small venues. I mean, you name it. Performance is my thing. It has always been my thing since I was a little girl. And in a second, you're going to discover so much more about it. As usual, I am going to invite you to share your questions. If you have questions, your feedback, let me know in the comments to this session. What is it that makes a great Egyptian dance performance in your perspective? I would like to know what you think about it in the audience. So locating yourself in the place of the audience, deduce, imagine, reflect on what makes it work for you as an audience. What makes you want to watch a dancer from the beginning till the end? Okay, I'm always curious to know what you guys think about. Drop by the comments, either live or in the recorded format, and let me know what is it for you that makes a great Egyptian dance performance. Now, before I launch the first question, how do I create an impactful entrance on stage and closure? I am going to do the proper presentation, the proper protocol. My name is Joana Saahirah. You must know it because there is something here. Yeah, that's my name. I'm a world-renowned Oriental dancer, teacher, choreographer, and author, and I'm also the creator of the pioneering Joana Saahirah's World and Joana Saahirah's online dance school, delivering authentic Egyptian dance, personal empowerment and discovery. And very soon, I'm also going to host my new podcast, The Oriental Cafe. You are going to hear about it very soon, so stay tuned. Now, let's dive into the first question, ala tul, yani, right ahead. How do I create an impactful entrance? That's the opening of a performance, and closure. Now, I'm going to try to be short, practical, and straight to the point, okay? The opening and the closure of a performance, it doesn't matter how long is the performance, it doesn't matter where you do the performance, in a big, small venue, in a theater, in a wedding, in a conference, in a festival, it doesn't matter where, okay? These two areas, how you start and how you close, are incredibly important. Why? Because how you start will dictate if the people watching are gonna stay engaged and paying attention to you. If you start in a weak way, if you start in a way that announces boredom, superficiality, things that people are not going to be interested in, you have lost your audience. So it is very important to focus on creating an impactful, exciting entrance that leaves your audience interested and begging for more. You want them to watch you till the end. So you gotta make sure that you capture their attention in that entrance and that you keep their attention. Very important. The closure is equally relevant. Why? Because this is the last thing your audience is going to see from you, at least on that occasion, right? So you want to make an impact. You want them to remember you. You want them to ask once you close, how can I see her or see him again? How can I get more of this? You want to leave them thirsty for more. So there is like a full circle moment when we do the closure that is keeping people engaged and expecting for the next time they'll be able to see you. So once again, what comes in the middle of a performance is equally important, but when you structure a performance, when you plan a show, a program, think about how do I start to create an impact and attract my audience's attention, and how do I close to leave them thirsty for more? Okay, this is very, very, very important. Now, how do you create impactful entrances and closures, right? Because this is the question. There is so much I could teach you here because, once again, I draw from experience. I don't draw from theory. I am primarily a performer. Since I can remember, I liked performing, and not only in dance. When I was very little, I used to sing and I was used to act. I've been an actress. I am educated as an actress, aside from educated as a dancer. I have always loved to put up a show and share that experience with people. So this is really my territory. And I can give you a few directions, but there is so much more I will not have time to share with you right now. Okay? So what is it that makes it impactful? First of all, the understanding that you're not doing it only for yourself. This is one of the biggest mistakes that I see dancers doing. I see it a lot in my private coaching. For instance, when I train dancers that are preparing a show, I often coach dancers who are preparing a show. So we build the program together. That's very common. And one of the things that I've noticed is that they have the mindset of what I call the dance demonstration, which is not the same as a dance performance. What is the dance demonstration? I have prepared a dance piece, a dance program, and I am going to dump it on people's faces. I know I'm fabulous. I'm doing what I want, what I feel, and they're going to receive it and be so honored to receive it. It's from me to them. I am going to show them what I have prepared, and I'm going to show them how great I am. Although this may sound like confidence to a lot of you, my experience tells me otherwise. When you think about a performance in front of an audience, yes, it's important to do something that you feel, that you like, that is a reflection of who you are and the dancer that you are. But it's also very important to think about your audience as a part of that performance. They're not there as passive receptacles for whatever you have prepared. They're there as participants. So if there is no dialogue, if there is no mindset of we, me and my audience and my music, of course, there will not be a connection. You're not creating a dialogue, a conversation, a common experience. You're not creating unity. And this will come back to you not in a good way, because people can feel it when you're just there showing off, or when you're there genuinely wanting to connect and create an experience that both sides will enjoy and participate in. Okay, so if you want to create a great entrance and a great closure, think about me and them. What works for me? What works for the audience? What will create an experience that I, the dancer, enjoy, but my audience enjoys as well? Okay, it's about the ego. I am, I want, I feel, but it's also about the group. What is it gonna work? What do I need to do to make it work for all of us? That includes my audience. They are an active part of the performance. If you want them engaged, if you want them truly with you, emotionally, energetically, okay, that's very important. Another thing that I would share with you in order to help you create that impact in the opening and in the closure is knowing exactly the kind of music that will work. And this is a complex subject because it differs according to the context you're going to dance in, the place, the styles you're better at, the styles that you are more comfortable in, more confident in. The right music will be different for different dances. But you always have to spend enough time picking the best music for a great, impactful opening that people will want to see more of, and a great impactful closure that leaves them crying for more. When can I see her again? Okay, the music plays a big role, because if you don't choose music that is dynamic, that is emotional, that is passionate, that is well built from a composition point of view, from an orchestration point of view, if you don't work with music that is full of contrasts, full of different moments, full of different creative possibilities, if the music is not rich enough and it's not allowing you to bloom as a dancer, to use your tools, use your skills, use your talent at the service of this performance, it's going to be nearly impossible to create something really interesting, because you cannot dance something that you're not listening to. It's very hard to make a great dance performance out of bad or average music. I often tell this to my students. We think that if we choose easy, simple music, repetitive music, we're fine because we're not challenged as dancers. But my experience tells me otherwise. The most basic, the worse the quality of the music that you use, the more effort you have to do as a dancer to make it interesting. And sometimes it's impossible. Okay, you just cannot add something to a musical piece that is not strong, that is not good. Okay, so aside from having this mindset of the we, what works for me and for my audience, and how can I create this unity, this common experience, you also have to be very careful about the kind of music that you use, especially in the opening and then in the closure. Okay, last but not least, for now, what I would really advise everyone to do is to offer variety. Okay, offer variety. And this is where education is so important. Sometimes I'm a pain in the neck, and everyone who has worked with me, who works with me, knows I'm obsessed with education, my education and the education of my students, because education, knowledge, preparation is power. The more you know, the more you can create. The more you know, the more diverse, dynamic, surprising, colorful, aesthetically stunning, dynamic, emotional, impactful your dance can be. If I create an entire sequence around one single style, repeating the same rhythms, perhaps the same makamet, only dominating one musical style or one dance style, that is not going to stand, and it's not going to win over a performance that offers different moments, different styles, different moods, different emotions. This is why when I moved to Egypt to start my career as a performer, I knew instinctively I had to know everything about Egyptian Oriental and Egyptian folkloric dances, because I was presenting 1 hour shows every day, several times per day, year after year, month after month, day after day, week after week, nonstop. So how can you create a 1 hour show? 1 hour is a long time for a performance. Without being repetitive, without being boring, without losing the interest of your audience that you want engaged. And one of the answers to that question is education. I could do Nubian dance. I could do modern Egyptian Oriental dance. I could do beledi. I could do a beledi awadi, yani mazbout. I could do sha'abi, tabla solos. I could do saidi, tahtib. I could do hagala. I could do dance with Malaya. I could do so many things. So that opens up the possibilities of what a dance show can be, what a dance performance can be, and also shows the audience you are a professional. You are not fooling around. So you break prejudices, you break barriers and taboos, and that in itself is very attractive, and it draws attention to you. And moreover, and more importantly, it draws respect towards the dancer on the stage. So it's very important to know how much can I offer my audience, how educated am I, and how can I get more educated so that I have more tools to play with, I have more tools to create with. Okay, and the more educated you are, the freer you can be. Okay, it's not either education or creativity and instinct. No, education serves your creativity and it serves your instinct. The more you know the language of Egyptian dance and the several languages within that language, the more you can be yourself and the more you can explore different sides of yourself. That is also a part of becoming an exceptional performer. You're not only one person, you are many people in one person. Right? So let me see who is saying hi. Let me see. And don't forget to say, what do you think about a great Egyptian dance performance? What makes a great Egyptian dance performance? Hi, Yasmina. Hi. Feel welcome to share your thoughts with me. And let's go into the second question, okay? So, what makes an unforgettable Egyptian dance performance that leaves the dancer and the audience begging for more. So that irresistible, I want more of this effect. Okay. Now, what I love about this question is that it brings the satisfaction of the dancer side by side with the satisfaction of the audience. When I think about an exceptional Egyptian dance performance, I'm not even only thinking about my audience, I am thinking about myself as well. Because I'm the one performing, although I'm a professional and I am paid to perform, pardon me, I want to enjoy myself. That's also part of the game. Also, because if I don't enjoy myself, my audience will not enjoy either. Okay, your level of pleasure, of enjoyment, of comfort, of confidence will reflect back on your audience. They will feel what you feel. Let me repeat this because it's important. They will feel what you feel, meaning if you feel nothing, or if you feel insecure, you feel tense, you feel anxious, you feel not at ease, you feel you have to smash the stage and be the best and be competitive and show them. If you have all these kinds of thoughts and energy, they are going to feel it with you. Is that how you want them to experience your performance? I'm pretty sure you don't. So think about yourself, the performer, as a catalyst. Wherever I feel, my audience is going to feel. So it is important that I enjoy the performance as much as they enjoy it. Okay. Now, how can we make it unforgettable? First of all, it all goes down to a very important concept that has driven my career. I've been in this field of Egyptian dance for 25 years, going on 26, if you can believe it. First in Egypt, performing mostly, and then around the world in festivals, teaching and performing and lecturing. Then, when I opened my school, that spectrum opened even more. So I have gone from Egypt to the world, literally. And I can tell you that one single value has guided me and keeps guiding everything that I do, and that is working from my identity, independently of trends, independently of the mafias and the lobbies dictating the rules, and they always change. Okay, I have met different mafia masters, different lobby managers in my career. I know who they are, I've worked with them. Some of them are quite nice, actually, some of them are not, but they change. It's a game of power that changes. Now you're up, then you're going to be down. I've seen them going up and down. And independently of those who dictate what you should be doing, how you should be looking as a dancer, what kind of style you should be performing and teaching, I believe that it's important to go back to what makes sense to you. I've done that, and I've seen trends and lobbies coming and going, and I keep on growing. So there is something about it that actually works. Okay. Now, it is hard when everyone is going in one direction and you go in the opposite direction, because you may feel alone, you may feel isolated. And in many situations in my career, I was isolated and I was ostracized. But that is the price you pay for your freedom. Okay, that is the price you pay for your freedom. I am free to do the dance style, the dance teaching method, the communication, everything that I feel makes sense for me. But that isolates me. Okay? Freedom isolates you. But that's not a bad thing, because the ones who enjoy your work will keep enjoying it more and more. And you're always going to attract new students, new clients to buy your performances, new organizers who want to do things with you because they know you are working with excellence and they know that what you do is unique. You're not following anyone, you're not going by the rules. You are creating something extraordinary and unique. And there is always a market for excellence and uniqueness. I can tell you this from my own experience. It's not easy, but it is possible. Okay, so in order to make it unforgettable, do it from within, do it your way. Learn whatever you are learning from your teacher, from your teachers, but then always ask, how can I make this my own? How can I create my own style within this style? How can I create my own language, my own posture, my feeling, my perspective inside this style, okay? That makes it unforgettable because we don't like copies. Audiences are tired of seeing dancers that look alike. They are tired and bored with copycats and the clones of this and that dancer. They are tired. It's not a novelty anymore. So uniqueness, originality, authenticity is attractive, and it will always be. That's one thing. Another thing, what makes an Egyptian dance performance unforgettable is pretty much how you make people feel. And once again, it's not what most performers think about. They think about, how do I look? How does my technique look like? How does my bedla look like? How does my choreography look like? They don't consider usually, how do I make them feel? Whatever I'm doing in my performance, how is that making my audience feel? How are they feeling? When they finish watching me perform, what do they say about me? What do they say about that performance? Have I moved them emotionally? Have I provoked them? Have I challenged their preconceptions of what an Egyptian dance piece is, of what an Oriental dancer is? Have I made them think? Have I made them feel something? Emotion is where the magic actually is in the field of Egyptian dance. And I know that we can get obsessed with looks. And I don't mean only the way you look, I mean the way your dance looks, right? Technique, angles, posture, lines, all of that is important because there is a visual aesthetic side to the art of dance. But that's not where the magic of Egyptian dance resides. The magic is really in the emotional engagement you get or not to create with your audience. And that, believe me, is what will make it unforgettable. Okay? There are many other things, by the way. We are going to have a brand new pioneering course at Joana Saahirah's Online Dance School called How to Create an Irresistible Egyptian Dance Performance. At the end of this Juju live session, I'm going to leave the link for more information, either in the comments to the video or in the description box below the video. Promise you're going to check it. Only for dancers who are performers and want to become even better, or dancers who wish to become performers, or simply for intermediate and advanced level dancers who wish to dance and communicate better, okay? This is going to be absolutely awesome, and I'm going to share so much of what I have gathered in terms of experience, knowing exactly what works from experience. Now, what else do I have here? Are dance clothes important in a dance performance? Your clothes, your bedlas. Now, I'm going to be very honest here, okay? I'm not the best person to answer this question for the simple reason that the way I'm dressed on stage was never a focus for me. I always thought of myself as a dancer who could dance in pajamas, and I had to make it work independently of how I looked, how my bedla looked. I always saw my dance clothing as also a vehicle for me to move, so they always had to be comfortable and allow me to do the movement I need to do. Sometimes dancers pick bedlas that are so beautiful, but they are uncomfortable, they are too heavy, they don't allow the dancer to move efficiently. So for me, that was always a concern. And because it was never a focus for me, I'm not very good at it. This is the honest truth. Sometimes I look at performances that I've done in festivals or in theater or even in Cairo when I was performing with my orchestra, and I think, what the hell was I thinking? What a terrible bedla. That's so ugly. But the question is, I wasn't worried about that. I had designers who created them. I had a very dear friend called Aziz. He's not with us anymore, but his sons are. And he was like a father to me. He was my favorite designer. He was a big friend. He was like family to me. And very often I would tell him, Aziz, do whatever you want. I'll just send someone to pick it up. I do whatever you want. And you would tell me, "Anti magnune, and you are crazy. How come? You have to see what you want. You have to choose the fabric." I say, "No, no, I trust you. I don't have time for this. So do whatever you want, and I'll send someone to pick the bedla up from your studio, and I'll dress it." Because he had my measurements, he knew my body very well. That was it. So that's how little I cared for it. Now, I'm not sure this is the best thing to do, and this is why I told you I'm perhaps the worst person to answer this question. But I chose this question because aside from not being very good at picking the most stunning bedla, I am good at focusing on what really matters. And the bedla, the way you're dressed, is not it. And once again, sometimes dancers get obsessed with how they are dressed and they spend too much time on their dance clothing and they don't spend enough time on their dance itself. This is a big problem. It's a big mistake in my consideration because you don't want people in the end to say, "Wow, what a beautiful dance bedla that dancer had." You don't want them to remember the way you were dressed, right? You want them to remember you for the performer that you are, for the way you made them feel, how you surprise them, your dance quality. You don't want to be noticed because you have a beautiful bedla. I'm going to tell you a funny story about bedlas. One of the work trips that I did to Russia, I was performing in a big theater and there were beautiful dances, and I mean beautiful physically, technically, everything. So nice. Very sweet women, very supportive. And just before I hit the stage, I looked around and I felt like the maid. Really, I felt like the maid because everyone looked so stunning. And I looked like, I don't know, I just got dressed 5 minutes ago and I'm going to go on stage. And I thought, oh my God, I have to bring my game up because they look like $1 million, Swarovski and shiny materials and crowns and huge shiny jewelry. And I was so basic. And I felt, okay, I really have to bring my game up and imagine that I'm naked, that I'm not even wearing a bedla, that everything that matters is beneath the clothing that I'm wearing. Okay, so this is a story that I remember very well because it was a strong sensation of feeling, oh my God, I don't look like that. My bedla is so simple in comparison to theirs. Because again, the focus was never on the clothing. Now, it is important to pick clothing that is suitable for the dance styles that you are going to perform. So imagine that you are doing Saidi, or you are doing Bedouin, or you are doing tabla solo, you are doing a shaabi or a ballet piece. For every style, there is a specific dance clothing style. Okay, so the way I'm going to dress for an Kulthum piece is not the same way I'm going to dress for a shaabi piece. The way I dress for a shaabi piece is not the same I dress for a Saidi or for a Bedouin piece. So the only thing I would care about, and I highly suggest that you care about, is to respect the style that you're dancing and find the corresponding correct clothing for that style. Okay? Other than that, I still believe till today that the way you are dressed is not where your focus should be. Although appearances are important and people value dances a lot from the way they are dressed. Curiously enough, there is a big importance given to it. But from my perspective, what you do as a dancer and the dance performance itself should always come before the clothing, as a concern, as a focus. So put more work and time into your dance and less work and time into the way you're dressing, okay? And make sure your dance clothes are comfortable. More than beautiful, they're respectful of the style you are dancing and they are comfortable, so that you are not worried about your bedla. You're not worried about this is hurting, this is not working, this is squeezing my breast. No, you want to feel at ease, you want to feel comfortable, you want to feel free to move as you need to move. Okay, so dance clothes also serve efficiency. They should serve efficiency. How can I have a dance clothing that allows me to move the way I need to move comfortably without worrying about the bedla? Let me see. who is joining us before I continue. Let me see, let me see. Hello. Hi, Jamila. Happy birthday. Isn't it your birthday today? Jamila, let me know if it is your birthday. I think it is. Kule sana enti tayeba, sana helwa yagami, sana helwa yagami, sana helwa, sana helwa, sana helwa yagami, yagamila Jamila. Um, Annette says, hello, everybody. Energy and creativity, passion, quietness, pauses, surprises. Okay, Annette, I think you mean that's what makes a great Egyptian dance performance. Confirm it, but I think that's what you mean. Energy, creativity, passion, quietness, pauses, surprises. I love that you mentioned the pauses, the quietness, and the surprises, because usually, especially nowadays, dancers are afraid to pause. The style that is trending nowadays is very fast, very mechanical, very repetitive, hysterical, and dancers are afraid to pause. They're afraid to slow down. Don't be. Pauses can be very powerful. I agree on it. Very good. Surprises, of course. Why surprises? Because you're keeping people on the tip of their toes, guessing what will come next. So you don't want to create a performance where people know what you will do next. This is very important. Okay, you have to be playful, yani dala. You have to get into this suggestion and suspense so that they don't become too comfortable. They're always on the edge of their seat. What is she gonna do next? This is the suspense, the interest, the engagement you need. Okay, so surprises are good, very important, Annette. That's a really, really good one. Okay. Okay. So what else do we have here? And once again, feel welcome to share what makes a great Egyptian dance performance. And when I say share, really share, I read it and I think about it. Okay. So I'm always learning from you guys. Let me know, what is it from your perspective as an audience member that makes a great Egyptian dance performance. Okay. And share your questions if you have questions. All right. What else do I have here? How do I engage my audience? How do I engage my audience? I believe this is also, how do I engage with my audience, right? And this is where I am an expert because I am a communication freak. So once again, you have to build the right mindset. How do I engage my audience? I have to think of a performance as communication. It's not a demonstration of knowledge, skills. Let them look at my shimmy. Let them look at my belly flutter. If I see any more dancers giving big importance to belly flutter and showing off a belly flutter, I swear I'm gonna throw myself in the river. I'm gonna kill myself. Please, guys, no. Let's not make it a circus act. This is not a demonstration of skills, a demonstration of gimmicks. This is communication. Okay, so the first thing to engage your audience is to understand that when you're performing, you are communicating. You are not showing how great you are. You are communicating. You are creating a common experience. Also, you should know how to explore the space, how to explore the stage that you're working at. It doesn't matter if it is big stage, small stage, a wedding, a conference room, a theater. I don't care. I don't care. Independently of the space, you have a stage for you. You have a space that has been reserved for you to move. That's your stage, okay? And you have to know how to use it intentionally. How do I project myself physically and energetically in different directions so that all my audience feels me and sees me in the right way? Okay, and this is one of the things, one of the skills that I'm going to develop in the course, in our upcoming course, how to create an irresistible Egyptian dance performance. It is so important, and it opens up not only your skills as a performer, but also your creativity as a dancer. Even if you don't perform, very important, how to use the space, how to use the inner space, that's the space within, and how to use the space around me physically and energetically so that my presence reaches the entire space. Okay? How do I project whatever I'm doing to my audience in order that they can feel it? They can feel whatever I'm doing. I have them with me in every corner of that space. Okay? Also, it is important to be playful. It is important not to fear vulnerability. This is another great thing that sometimes we're afraid to tap into. We want to be confident and we want to be stylish and we want to present ourselves like queens, for sure. But a queen is vulnerable. Vulnerability, really allowing yourself to feel whatever you are feeling and feel like a human being and behave like a human being, not like a machine. That's the biggest proof of power. Insecure dancers will never be vulnerable because they believe that if they're vulnerable, if they show their fragility, if they reveal their heart, they are going to be perceived as weak. They're going to be perceived as just a person. But I have news for you. Humanity, showing up as a person, is what will make you a powerful performer. Is not showing up as a machine, untouchable, unrelatable, impermeable, distant. That does not create a great performance. You may think it does because you have people in front of you and they're obliged to applaud. But if you really want to make an impact, you show up as a performer in the shape of a real human being, with sadness, with happiness, with fear, with pain, with hope, with fragilities, with insecurities, with power, with all the colors that make up a human being. The more human you are, the more relatable you are, and the more engaged your audience will be. So, this fashion of dancing like a machine and being cold and doing whatever you have to do and leaving them like screw them. I just dumped my choreography on their heads. They are obliged to applaud and khalas, but it's not going to work if you really want to leave a footprint, a legacy behind. Okay, so very important to be vulnerable, dance like a person, and look at people's faces. Don't hide. Open your posture, open your chest, open your heart. Okay, open your body, open your hips. Make sure that people see you for who you really are. Don't hide behind the mask. Okay, that is super, super important. And once again, there is so much more, but more inside the course that I'm going to introduce in a little second. So last but not least, the last question I have here: what are the skills dancers need to develop in order to become excellent and unique performers with a style of their own? So this is a very complex question. I'm gonna answer it partially using the last part of the question, with a unique style of their own. So if you want to develop your skills as a performer, start by developing your own language, your own style. Okay, I don't mean you're gonna invent a new dance style. I mean that you're gonna use whatever you have learned and you're gonna make it yours. Your flavor, your way, your reinvention of technique, your particular combination of steps and movements and postures, your taste, your sensibility, your soul, your fingerprint. Okay, this is one of the things that needs to be developed when you're preparing to perform, or even if you're not preparing to perform, if you want to grow as a dancer, as a creative creature. Okay, what other skills do you need? First of all, you need the basics, guys, and the basics are very obvious, but they're not so obvious. And the basics are: you need to know how to dance very well. Sometimes we have this idea that in order to be a great performer, we just need to be charismatic and we have a few movements, a few tricks, and that's it. Yalla ba, I'm gonna nail it. I disagree with this. I think that charisma, el duende, aura is very important, and that comes from many things. Okay, we're not gonna even start on that one because charisma in itself is a theme for an entire training. What does it mean to be a charismatic performer? Sorry. What does it mean to be a charismatic performer? That in itself is a huge theme. Okay. So, yes, you need to be charismatic, but you need to know your craft. Especially these days, you have to think, guys, that Egyptian dance has evolved a lot. A lot of things have been lost, and a lot of things have been gained. And what do I mean by this? The audiences that watch Oriental dance or Egyptian dance today are not the audiences that watched it 10 years ago or 20 years or 30 years ago. This audience is much more demanding. This audience knows about Egyptian dance. It's not new anymore. It's not exotic anymore. So the level has gone up big time. If you're not prepared technically, musically, culturally, it's going to show. So aside from truly bringing your uniqueness, your unique style, your unique flavor to your dance, you need to know the language, you need to know the style, you need to bring the quality, the dance quality to the table. You also need to develop skills like self-confidence, management of emotions, storytelling, engagement, projection of energy, inner world, outer world, contrasts, dynamics, different moods, different emotions, different angles, different directions, different ways of projecting yourself, stage skills. If you want to take it a little bit further, there are so many skills that you need to develop to become the performer that I know you can become. And once again, and in order to close this Juju live session, I am going to invite you to check the information about our upcoming pioneering online course, how to create an irresistible Egyptian dance performance. Okay, it's gonna happen very soon at Joana Saahirah's online dance school. So depending on how and when you're gonna watch this Juju live session, we're either already doing it, we have already done it, and you can still enjoy it in the recorded format, or you will be able to join us live, which is the best possible option. So I would recommend that you check it right now. Okay, once I close this session, I am going to share the link for more information on the pioneering course, how to create an irresistible Egyptian dance performance. Once again, I'm going to bring the goodies that I've learned from stage experience, from my musicians in Cairo, from my Egyptian audiences in Cairo, from my audiences from around the world. I know what works for Chinese, for Spanish, for Egyptians, for Lebanese, for French, for whatever, you name it. What works for a big stage, for a small stage? What makes it work independently of the circumstances? What I'm going to share in this course, again, and as usual, comes from direct experience, which I believe is the real only source of knowledge that can truly help and transform your students. So I'm going to invite you one last time to check the link that I'm going to share either in the comments or in the description box below this video. And I'm also going to invite you to join our newsletter if you're not a part of it yet, Joana Saahirah's newsletter. And if you are interested in Egyptian dance, personal empowerment, and everything good that we share inside our platform. I'm also going to provide the link for you to subscribe if you're not a part of it yet in the comments or in the description box below this video. I'm going to close it. Thank you so much for being here, for participating. Thank you, Annette. Thank you, Jamila. Thank you, Yasmina. Everyone who is watching and dropping their love. Keep them coming. Comment in the comments below. What is it that you want to know about this subject? How can I help you? What is it that makes a great Egyptian dance performance? I will see you and dance with you very, very, very soon. Mwah! A big kiss, guys.